Hi everyone, it's Susan with the Narcissistic Abuse Journey Alliance. Passivity, living passively, being passive. Let's dive right into this. This is another loaded topic. When we live passively, we are not taking responsibility for our lives, and we don't take enough risks. We allow others to direct and/or inflict pain on us without consequences from us. We don't speak up. When a toxic person or narcissist inflicts passive-aggressive behavior on us, such as the silent treatment, stonewalling, ignoring, or stealth control, it usually sideswipes us, and until we get our bearings and figure out what's going on, we may vacillate between trying to take a stand and blaming ourselves. Narcissists bait us, lure us in, and then drop the ball. They're passive and spineless. Anyone with a spine, empathy, and authenticity would step up to the plate and verbalize their reality to you and tell you the truth, even if they're worried it might hurt your feelings. And of course, a narcissist lacks empathy. A narcissist's control needs are so high and severe that they will never tell you the truth. The emotional intimacy in the relationship will always be at -1,000. No vulnerability whatsoever. They fake and mimic emotions. Narcissism is comorbid with other psychiatric conditions, cluster Bs, and also people that are on the autism spectrum, such as Asperger's. I know of a scenario where the narcissist made a deal with their spouse that they could have extramarital relationships. Narcissists are notorious for making deals. Their main objective is for control, to break us down and get their own way. Most narcissists are completely non-committal and cheat on their spouse or partner, emotionally and/or physically. The spouse in this scenario wasn't reciprocating or engaging in the activity, so it really wasn't an open marriage. But the spouse allowed the narcissist to do this, and obviously the spouse was fearful of being abandoned. And we all have abandonment issues. All narcissists are bullies and control freaks. Down the road, the spouse asked the narcissist if they could talk about changing the deal. And of course, the narcissist never did talk about it. They let it go. The narcissist liked things the way they were, coming and going as they pleased, having their cake and eating it too, and having their quote-unquote private time, passive-aggressively abusing their spouse. The spouse didn't bring up the subject again either. Out of fear, of course. They knew what the answer was. The narcissist was never going to change that deal. The narcissist always sets the tone. And of course, in this scenario, this is an example of living passively. People-pleasing, really, for fear of being abandoned, fear of being the bad guy or bad gal, fear of confrontation, not taking risks. Very few people are comfortable with confrontation, but it is necessary to get comfortable with it in order to have honest dialogues in our relationships. We often attract a partner who reminds us of the parent we had the most difficulty with. That's interesting food for thought, isn't it? I'll say that again. We often attract a partner who reminds us of the parent we had the most difficulty with. What I've observed over the years is that introverted or extroverted narcissists possess this thread of passivity. Yes, they are passive-aggressive, but they are passive too. They often do not take initiative in situations, interpersonally or professionally, which I believe is because of their underlying tremendous feelings of inferiority and need to maintain a certain image. They don't assert themselves or take risks for fear of being wrong or rejected. They don't stick their neck out ever. They want nothing to do with being uncomfortable and can't get out of their own way. They are stubborn, wounded children who need to have stealth control. They love walking around with a full diaper. They love the way it feels and are impossible to potty train. They can't let go of anything. Okay, that's a joke, but it does hold some truth. It is essential on our quest for healthy self-esteem to live actively and not passively, to take risks, to own our own reality, to work on our confidence level, to advocate for ourselves, and muster up the courage to speak our truth. I recently was at jury duty for the first time, and my friends were saying, "Oh, you'll never get picked, you'll be sent home early." Well, it ended up that there was a case and they were going to pick a jury. They divided us up into 3 groups, and I was in the last group. So they called my group and brought us into the courtroom, and the judge started talking, and all of a sudden I saw red, and I stood up, and I was not a vision of diplomacy in that moment, but I stood up and I said, "No." And the judge looked at me and I said to her, "No, I cannot do that." And I made friends with a young woman sitting next to me, and she leaned over and said, "Sue, that was awesome." And so that really made me feel good. But my heart was pounding out of my chest. But by me asserting myself like that, I ended up helping the rest of our group, and I did get the result that I wanted. So never be intimidated. You have to advocate for yourself. If you don't do it, no one else is going to. You cannot please everyone, and not everyone is going to like you. And who cares? As long as you like you, as long as you are trying to do the right thing, that's all that matters. And that should be one of our goals on our path for continued growth and self-development. A narcissist is incapable of self-examination. Some would debate this, but it would take a lot of work on the narcissist's part, and I don't believe they are really interested in learning about what happened to them or what makes them tick. They're not interested in growth. It's too painful. They don't want to look at it. It would be a very long process for them. So as I've said in my other videos, they're on the hamster wheel of life, going round and round and round, and on the train going nowhere. They can't get off. It takes consciousness to live actively and not passively. It takes work. And it takes sticking your neck out and taking risks and getting a hold of your fear. It means going back to the drawing board when we stumble and fall. It means not beating ourselves up over mistakes, but rather understanding that we will make many mistakes on our healing journey, and to learn and take the valuable lessons from them. And also, of course, to try and not repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Life is about taking risks. If you want a guarantee in life, go to SEARS and buy a DIEHARD battery. We are all champions. Be braver. Braving it together. Thank you to all my subscribers, and to my new subscribers, a big, giant thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please leave a comment below. I love your comments. Work with me. I'd love to hear from you. Sending love and hugs, and I'll be in touch again soon.